Let's get down to brass tacks. We're worried about Jedi Fallen Order. The game comes out in November 2019, so there's still time for Electronic Arts and Respawn to change our minds, but for now, we've got some major concerns about this upcoming Star Wars game. Respawn is at the helm of Jedi Fallen Order, but we can't forget the parent company that looms over them. EA owns the Star Wars license when it comes to console games, and they have it until 2023. However, according to reports from Kotaku, EA CEO Andrew Wilson has always wanted to keep the company's focus on in-house titles, like sports games, Battlefield, and The Sims. The Star Wars deal doesn't fit that mold, which might explain why the last two Star Wars games were essentially sci-fi battlefields built for monetization. You probably already know how much EA likes microtransactions, to the point where a community manager for the company needed to confirm that Jedi Fallen Order wouldn't have in-game transactions, DLC, or a season pass. That news was so unexpected that it made headlines. Basically, an EA-published single-player narrative-driven Star Wars game that doesn't focus on monetization sounds too good to be true. The PR for the game is taking the right first steps, but we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. If you've been paying attention to the Battle Royale genre, then you know about Respawn's hottest new game, Apex Legends. It's free after all. The first-person shooter took the world by storm, racking up 50 million players in its first month. The game is, as you'd expect, a live service, requiring constant monitoring and patches. In essence, Apex Legends has been massive, and it looks like a game that will continue being important to Respawn and EA. It's worth noting that Apex fits the classic EA mold far better than Jedi Fallen Order. Season passes, loot boxes, new heroes, and skins are all crucial parts of a lucrative long-term business plan. A contained single-player story, not as much. Maintaining an ongoing game as a service isn't the same as developing a whole new title from scratch, but having a studio do both at once calls into question the quality of either product. Even with more than 200 employees working at Respawn, it's hard to rule out the possibility that Apex Legends could take resources away from the development of Jedi Fallen Order. Let's be real, all we really know about Jedi Fallen Order is that it's a third-person action game where you play a Jedi named Cal Kestis. During the Star Wars Celebration panel, the developers referred to it as having, quote, thoughtful combat. Game director Stig Asmussen compared the game to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker and Metroid, claiming, "The enemies are crafted in a certain way that once you upgrade, you can think about how you're going to approach them differently, and maybe they aren't as big a challenge as they were at one point." Asmussen joined Respawn during the development of Jedi Fallen Order, and his experience directing God of War 3 will likely prove valuable. However, Respawn's history doesn't carry the same pedigree when it comes to third-person action games. The studio was founded by two former Infinity Ward developers, the studio known for creating the Call of Duty franchise. Since Respawn formed, that studio developed the Titanfall games and Apex Legends. Developing games with an emphasis on military-grade guns doesn't seem like it carries over to a melee action game featuring lightsabers. Without that experience, it's hard to put all our faith into this upcoming Star Wars game.
Are you excited for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? I mean, come on.
At the 2019 Star Wars Celebration panel, we saw a lot of discussion regarding the identities of some key characters and the various planets you'll visit. Respawn revealed that actor Cameron Monaghan of Gotham and Shameless fame did the motion capture and acting for the lead character Cal. The 2-minute trailer gave us a substantial look at what the environments in the game will look like. But what about the gameplay? The cinematic trailer still gets us excited, sure, but Fallen Order is first and foremost a video game. Exploring the dark period after Order 66 through a canon narrative is a stimulating concept, but if the gameplay can't match the premise, then EA will lose any bit of faith Star Wars fans might still have in them. Furthermore, it's worrying that we haven't seen gameplay when the game is just a few months away. The trailer shown used the game's engine, but that doesn't mean anything when it comes to performance. Video post-production could easily clean any stuttering or frame rate issues. The way the scenes in the trailer were staged also didn't look anything like gameplay. We still don't know what we'll be looking at or even really playing when we have the controller in our hands. Despite all our doubts about Jedi Fallen Order, we hope the game turns out to be a success. EA and its Star Wars video game license desperately needs a win. We all have to wait until November 15th to see if the game lives up to everyone's hopes. Luckily, that's only a few short months away, but that brief interim could be both a blessing and a curse for Respawn and its fans. It's no surprise that the game has a release date set near the end of the year. That way, it'll coincide with another major Star Wars release, Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker. The movie will conclude the newest trilogy that started back in 2015 with Episode 7: The Force Awakens. In fact, the last two Star Wars games, Battlefront and Battlefront II, released a month before the last two movies did, so it only makes sense that Fallen Order would follow the same pattern with The Rise of Skywalker. However, this means that Respawn is, for all intents and purposes, locked into that release date. No matter what happens, shareholders will be expecting the game to launch on November 15th, regardless of whether the game is ready. We don't know how far into development Respawn has gotten, but if the worst-case scenario rears its ugly head, we could see an incomplete game this holiday season.
I fear something terrible has happened.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SVG videos about your favorite games are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.